Okay, did you ever stop to wonder why both Russia and Iran were so absolutely quiet and not a problem while Donald Trump was in office? And then suddenly, after 1 year of Joe Biden being in office, they've suddenly come to life and become threats all over the planet, with Iran funding the Houthis and terrorist attack to interfere with the Red Sea shipping and funding Hamas and Gaza to spur up violent conflict there. And with Russia being able to suddenly seemingly be able to afford an endless war in the Ukraine, when under Trump they couldn't move. What happened? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on, and nobody else will. Donald Trump took away from Russia and Iran their most powerful weapon: money. Money. Just like Reagan killed the Soviet Union with money, outspending them in a defensive weapons race that Russia couldn't keep up on and got bankrupted. Trump deprived Russia and Iran of money. How? By keeping the price of oil low. Oil was $50 to $55 a barrel. 60 under Trump. Those prices of oil aren't sufficient to put profits in the pockets of Iran and Russia, which are producing right around that cost per barrel. They need a high price of oil to make money. So when Biden came into office and shut down the Keystone Pipeline and altered the future outlook of petroleum all over the world and shut down leasing and permits here in the U.S. and stopped other pipelines, that sent a cold message to the rest of the world about the future of oil, and the price skyrocketed to over $100 a barrel. That enabled Iran and Russia to start making money hand over foot. And sanctions on Russia didn't do a damn thing because they sold it all to China. So that high cost of oil producing filled treasuries for Russia and Iran, that's their best weapon. They don't have the money to do this kind of stuff beyond taking care of their own people with oil at $50 a barrel. It's only when oil is between 80 and 100 that they make enough money to be able to fund wars and other people to wage wars. You got to take away the money to shut down the activity. Well, Biden gave them their best weapon. And then, of course, he was afraid to provoke Putin, the coward, so he didn't help the Ukrainians arm themselves on the border in opposition to Russia massing troops there, preparing to invade. Now, when the enemy, everybody knows, when the enemy masses troops on your border, you either put forces up immediately to impose him, or you're inviting him in. So Biden was afraid to provoke Putin, so instead he invited him in. And now you're caught up in an endless artillery battle that Russia has millions of artillery shells to fight, and we don't. We've given them all to Ukraine. We got to write new legislation to spend more money to build new shells to give to the Ukraine to fight another 3 months or 6 months. This is an endless, hopeless artillery battle. Russia can wage it forever. They have more troops and more manpower. Ukraine is running out of both. And it needs to be a negotiated peace. It's a hopeless, endless battle that Russia can wage forever and that the Ukrainians cannot. So Biden lost this war on day one, before day one, when he didn't want to provoke Putin and help the Ukrainians arm the border. And he has walked away, abdicated the duty to fight these wars effectively, which is not with artillery shells, because, of course, our military never anticipated the next war would be an artillery battle. Believe me, they were planning on doing it all from the air, pretty much Guarantee that. Artillery forever? What are you kidding? There won't be any artillery battles. Well, Biden won't let the Ukrainians fly missions against Russia in Russia. He's afraid of provoking Putin. The coward. We keep coming back to the same theme. So Biden has enabled this war, and he's continuing to fund it by keeping American energy suppressed, refusing to allow us to take back the world leadership position that we had under Trump, when we had become, for the first time in 65 years, energy independent by virtue of the fact that we were producing more than we were consuming. And of course, Biden reversed all those policies, and now that's not true. And oil is still up around $77, $80 a barrel, and could go higher if the Houthis aren't stopped with interfering with shipping of oil in the Red Sea. So Biden is handing this to the Russians and the Iranians by keeping the price of oil high. He enabled it by driving the price so high that they were able to raise the funds to distribute money for Iran to distribute money to Hamas and to the Houthis and to Hezbollah. And not to mention the $6 billion Biden unfroze and gave to them for humanitarian aid. Well, money is fungible. You give it to them over here, they can spend other money to do other things, because that's going to take care of this, which would have had to have been done with the funds that are now doing the other thing. Now, this is all on Biden. It's terrible, terrible, terrible political leadership. He is the danger to the planet and to the quality of life of all Americans. Well, he's a danger to the planet militarily. He's a danger to the quality of life of all Americans because he's driven the price of goods so high by driving the price of gasoline and fuel and energy so high, and all of those costs are incorporated into the price of goods. And the only way to bring them down is what Donald Trump has said: drill, baby, drill. You got to get oil back down to $50 a barrel, gas down to $2 a gallon, and diesel down to $2.50. And if you do that in the next 10 months to a year, your prices of food will come down. And if you don't do that, they're going up for the next 4.